The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. I want to start by saying all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations that I can push in this word in all sincerity and honesty, the whole full elect, most constantly enduring, shalom. Now, the video I'm about to play, you could find it on World Cam. You go to YouTube, type in World Cam, and they'll show you a discussion with the Pentagon and what they plan on doing regarding UFOs or UAPs, which we know those are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. And they basically are in, it's basically a boil of confusion. Now I'm let a little bit of the video play, little skits, whatever, and then I'll get back into the lesson, and Lord will it make for an edifying lesson.
There it was. That's, in many cases, that's all that a report may include.
It's also been reported that there have been UAP observed and interacting with and flying over sensitive military facilities, particularly, and not just ranges, but some facilities housing our strategic nuclear forces. One such incident allegedly occurred at Malmstrom Air Force Base, in which 10 of our nuclear ICBMs were rendered inoperable. At the same time, a glowing red orb was observed overhead. I'm not commenting on the accuracy of this. I'm simply asking you whether you're aware of it and whether you have any comment on the accuracy of that report.
Let me pass that to Mr. Bray. You've been looking at UAPs over the last 3 years.
That data is not within the holdings of the UAP task force.
Well, I would say, I mean, it's a pretty high-profile incident. I don't claim to be an expert on this, but that's out there in the ether. You're the guys investigating it. I mean, who else is doing it?
If something was officially brought to our attention, we would look at it.
And then finally, are you aware of a document that appeared around 2019, sometimes called the Admiral Wilson Memo or EW Notes Memo?
I am not.
You're not.
I'm not personally aware of that.
There's been no attempt, there's no communications or any kind of communication signals that emanate from those objects that we've detected, correct?
That's correct.
And have we attempted to communicate with those objects?
No.
Okay, so, and I assume we've never discharged any armaments against a UAP, correct?
That's correct. Those were just the initial steps. We also made a concerted effort to assemble subject matter experts from across the Department of Defense and the intelligence community and other U.S. government agencies and departments. We forged partnerships with the research, development, and acquisition communities, with industry partners, and with academic research labs, and we brought many allies and international partners into our discussions on UAP. Additionally, subject matter experts from a wide variety of fields, including physics, optics, metallurgy, meteorology, just to name a few, have been brought in to expand our understanding in areas where we may not have organic expertise. In short, we've endeavored to bring an all-hands-on-deck approach to better understand this phenomenon.
This is Psalm 14:1. The fool has said in their Psalm 14:1. The fool has said in his heart, there is no God, and that's Esau. All right, that's why you're calling these UAPs or UFOs. They're calling it phenomenons and things like this, which phenomenon means something is happening when there's no clear explanation. Well, the explanation, which you will have to come to the realization that there's a higher power, okay? The Most High and the Son and the angels. Those chariots, those so-called UFOs, UAPs, those are chariots of the Heavenly Father, and they're operated by angels. And Yahweh Shai, the one earning called Jesus Christ, is coming back in a gigantic chariot, a gigantic UFO, a gigantic UAP. Okay, and they won't. And those chariots, when they come, they won't be just flying around and causing mischief, man. They're gonna come and they're gonna destroy. So it says, the fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. And if they say there is no God, then there's no reason to fear God. So of course Esau will do every wicked, abominable act there is to do upon the face of the earth. And this is why Esau is going to be destroyed off the face of the earth. Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And it's talking about Esau. All right. For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. Right. With their spaceships and their satellites. I will exalt my throne above the stars, which they're in the heavens. But the stars is really talking about the nation of Israel, because Israel is compared to stars. The nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation and in the sides of the north. And this is what Esau is doing right now as he's in rulership. He's sitting upon the mount of the congregation. The congregation is talking about Israel. The sides of the north, because mainly North America. Right? Isaiah 14:14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. So this is Esau's MO. He wants to be like the Most High, or he wants to be the Most High. Okay? And this is what's driving him to bringing those satellites, to bringing those space shuttles, driving him to go to Mars or go to the sun or the moon, right? Because he wants to be the Most High, which just goes back to his pride and the wickedness. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. So the Lord said, you're going to try to do all these things, and in your pride, right, and in your might, in your power, you're going to be brought down to hell, meaning the grave, to the side of the pit. See, Esau is always going to try to find ways to be like the Most High, in ways like who try to defy the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, right? He try to make certain maneuvers you see the chariots making, but he can't reach those speeds, because if Esau goes too fast, then the pilot would turn to mush. All right, he'll crush under the force. If Esau goes too deep in the water, he'll implode. Okay, like the recent incident. So Esau will never be able to achieve what those chariots achieve. And this is what they want to do. All right, they want to get in those chariots. They want to see the technology, the equipment. How could they put it to use? Okay, but the Lord is just showing Esau, look, listen, when your time is up, it's not going to be a long, drawn-out fight. Okay, the Lord said, I'm coming to take the kingdom. And this is what Esau is really scared of. Luke 21:25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Right, man. So, and there are signs in the sun and the moon, right? And it says, and in the stars, okay? And upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. And what's going to have these nations in distress and perplexity or perplexed? Those chariots of the Heavenly Father. Okay? They won't know what to do when those chariots decide, when it's time for those chariots to attack, to destroy, and to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel. Now, real quick, let's go to tools, and let's go to perplexity, G640. It says aporia. Let's go to show Strong's. It says from the same as, or it says a state of quandary, perplexity. And let's just look this up real quick. It says a state of perplexity or doubt, see full definition. Now, those chariots do play a role in the state of perplexity, right? But even before the chariots, it's going to be so much hell taking place. Like, it's going to be wars, and it's going to be famines and pestilence. It's going to be cannibalism. It's going to be race riots. It's going to be class wars. It's going to be the MOTB, the mark of the beast, is going to be on the scene, right? One of the last final prophecies. Okay, and when everything's already going, and you think things can't get any worse, those chariots are gonna start destroying this place, man. Okay, and along with those nuclear missiles, the sea and the waves roaring, going into the destruction, right, by way of nuclear missiles. But those chariots are also going to take part in that destruction. It says, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, right? So Esau, heaven is going to be shaken, right? And the ones in power, the elites, because they're going to watch their kingdom crumble. And they're going to see those chariots, all right? Because the elites, they're going to try and go in their underground bunkers, space shuttles. But those chariots are gonna take them out of hiding, and they're going to put them in captivity, okay? And a lot of you people that trust in Esau, you're going to feel the heat from those nuclear missiles, and you're going to feel the blast from those chariots. And this is why Esau is trying to defend himself, which is inevitable. Isaiah 66 verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So that chariot is going into those so-called UFOs. Like I said, those chariots are going to shoot those lasers like they depict in the movies. They're going to shoot laser beams, and they're going to be turning Esau and 2/3 of our people and these heathens into ashes, right? The Lord will come with fire, and that fire is also going to those nuclear missiles, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, which a whirlwind is known to destroy, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Lord's angry at this place. The Lord's angry at Esau, right? Because he's a fool and he does no good. Okay, he's the wicked that the Bible speaks of, and he's done a lot of atrocities to the Lord's chosen people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So the Lord's going to render this place with all sorts of fire. This clip right here I'm about to play shows the extent that Esau wants to know more about these chariots, how they maneuver, how they appear and reappear, how do they glow, you know, all these things. How do they do what they do? How do they turn off their armory, right? Because those chariots are known to turn off and on the armories. Esau will love to know how the chariots do what they do. So I'm gonna let it play, and I'm come back with the scriptures.
Additionally, subject matter experts from a wide variety of fields, including physics, optics, metallurgy, meteorology, just to name a few, have been brought in to expand our understanding in areas where we may not have organic expertise. In short, we've endeavored to bring an all-hands-on-deck approach to better understand this phenomenon.
Isaiah 47:12. Stand now with thy enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Right? Because if you could understand something, then you could fix it. Like some people fix a Rubik's cubes. They understand it. All right, they have the mind for it. Now that's the technology for the those chariots was not given to Esau. All right, so it says, stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. Because Esau is a sorcerer, right? And Esau is all into all types of sorcery on the left hand side, and this is well known. It says, if so, Be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayst prevail. Right? Now, could Esau ever get his hands in the chariot, get inside of a chariot like they showed in Independence Day with Will Smith? No. Verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologer, the stargazer, the monthly prognosticator stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Right? So who's going to save Esau? Okay? Is there going to be a stargazer or an astrologer that's going to see profitable things in Esau's future? No, Esau's future is destruction. It says, Babylon, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire, no fire to sit before it. And there you go. All right. Despite all your attempts, despite your sorcerers, stargazers, all right, whoever you call to help you gather information, it's not going to change your end result. First of all, you're not going to gather any information. All you're going to be able to do is look at the chariots do what they do. Okay? And they mentioned earlier that they never shot any military ammo or missiles at the chariots, and that's a lie, because I remember there was a situation where they did shoot at the chariots and the chariots zapped the missile and the missile fell. Okay, so they tried to do all these things to the chariots, but it's to no avail. Obadiah 1:8, it says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mouth of Esau? Right, because Esau is in power right now through his wisdom, but Esau is going to be destroyed, and the Lord's going to take that wisdom back. And the mighty men of Teman shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Every one of Edom will be cut off by slaughter. And it said Teman, which Teman today will be the German scientist, man, because Teman was known for their wisdom. Okay, now wisdom was really given to those Germans to develop those nuclear missiles, and they had other developments also, like the torpedo. It says, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So the end result, despite the pride of Esau, despite the wisdom, so even as you speak, the Lord is bringing Esau in a more and more confused state until ultimately he's destroyed. Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to say all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to Akim pushing this word. Saying honestly, the whole full elect constantly enduring. Shalom.